Making your first million is harder than the next. Tony Kitchens here, glad to be with you. I found it true to be that making your first $1 million is harder than the next several. This does not mean that making your first is difficult, nor must it take many years to accomplish. For the record, it's also not as easy as some YouTubers would have you believe. Here's what I've learned from more than 30 years as an entrepreneur and having generated more than $100 million in revenue from companies I owned. Number one, if you don't believe you can make $1 million, it won't happen. This phrase is as old as time, but nothing is truer. Success in business begins in your mind, then is displayed through your actions. When you believe you can grow your business revenue to $1 million and more, you will become the person that you will need to be in order to make it happen. You'll wake up early. You'll go to sleep late. You will sacrifice time that was once allocated for family and friends in order to focus on your goal. When setbacks come, you will face them, not knowing how to get past them, but you will not allow them to stop you from pursuing your goals. You will eliminate words such as, I can't, why, it isn't fair, I'm fine where I am, and others, and replace them with words like, I can, why not, and life is not fair, you get what you work for. Number two, money is no different than an apple, mango, or banana. It's a byproduct of something rooted in good soil that is nurtured, fed, and protected. It's one thing you can receive when you are extremely good at something. Money is just a tool. You don't wake up each day focusing on $1 million. You wake up each day focusing on how to make your product or service better. Is the tree planted in good soil? In business terms, is the product or service something people are willing to pay for? Is there a market for what you are selling? Are you nurturing the tree? Are you reinvesting every dollar of profit towards customer acquisition, customer experience, and future offerings? Are you protecting the tree? Are you constantly in front of your customers and prospects, taking care of their needs? Or are you allowing your competitors to lure them away with fancy marketing campaigns? Number three, if you plant a flower in a small pot, it will not grow to its full potential. As you build your business, always act as if you are running a $10 million company, even if you're just starting out. Use professional contracts, invoices, email addresses, and communication methods. Have written agendas for meetings with your team, even if there's only one other person on that team. Make sure the business structure you choose, whether it's an S Corp, C Corp, or a limited liability corp, is the best choice for $1 million company, not just a startup. Use an accountant and attorney when dealing with tax and contract matters. Don't ask an amateur for professional advice. When you create an environment that you will have to grow into, it will be much easier to manage once success begins to come your way. Number four, good things take time. It took me 4 or 5 years to make my first $1 million in revenue. Those years were spent doing everything I mentioned a few moments ago and much more. You must build a foundation. You must plant the seeds, water them, remove the weeds before you see any signs that the tree is growing. Business is no different. There are undeniable steps that must be taken for any business to grow. This is when your mindset comes into play. With the understanding that business is a marathon, you will have the patience to stay in the race and not to quit. Number 5, rinse and repeat. Once you have a product or service that people are willing to pay for, have built processes for customer acquisition, managing operations, finance, customer support, and more, you are on your way to having a multi-million-dollar business. This is why the first million is the hardest. It's because you are building everything from scratch. Now, the foundation for making $2, $5, and even $10 million is strong and can support a bigger business when that time arrives. You can hire the best talent. You can reach prospects in more ways than ever before. And you have nurtured the soil that will allow your money-making tree to produce as much fruit as you want it to bear. You will have what I call a mature business, meaning it has been through the early stages of crawling. It is now moving at a steady pace. The next step is to sprint, which is also called scaling. That's an entirely different video, going from 10 million to $100 million in revenue. But you can do it. As my friend John Rogers says, slow and steady wins the race. Thanks for watching. Go do something great today.